All right. Good morning and welcome to Monday Morning Motivation on Tuesday morning. First thing I want to do is kind of put a disclaimer with you guys. I do have a cold, so if I have to pause for a second to blow my nose or get a drink, I hope you'll understand and bear with me through it. Thank you guys again for getting on and taking the time to listen to me this morning and let me do what I love to do. We will get rolling here. And for those of you who have never been on before, I do post a recording afterwards. So if you want to share with your team, if you like what you hear and you want to share it, please feel free to do so, as well as encourage people to join us next week. All right, motivation. What I like to go over in the beginning almost every single week is a little bit different, but almost the same. And just want to make some points about motivation, what it is and why we do it, and the best parts about it. So what is the point of this? What is the point of Monday or Tuesday morning motivation? If we don't have a reason or a why behind every single thing we do, there is no point. So when it comes to motivation, motivation of any kind, whether it's reading, listening to a podcast, getting on this with me, listening to someone else who inspires you, watching something on TV, all of those things give you a reason. They give you something, they tug at an emotion, or they plant a seed within you that resonates through your week or your day or till the next time you listen to something that moves you towards whatever your goal is in your business or in your life. So how can you make this worthwhile? Okay, so you can listen to it, you can get off, forget all about it by noon, or if something hits you emotionally, if one small thing that I can say hits home for you, make it stick. Write it down somewhere, take it with you throughout the week and remind yourself of it. Make it your motivation, because if we don't remind ourselves every single day why we're doing what we are doing, then we slow down. Sometimes we even completely stop moving towards our goal. So make it worthwhile for you and make it stick. And if there's nothing that I say today, I realize that every single week I do something a little bit different and almost always kind of the same. If I don't say something that sticks with you, find something that does. Go online and find yourself a quote, or listen to something, like I said, a podcast, read a book, do something to motivate yourself each and every day, or find something that sticks and use it for the week. So how can you inspire others? The best way to inspire other people is speak from your heart and be passionate about whatever it is you want to talk about. If you can speak with someone from your heart, it doesn't really matter what you say, because your passion is encouraging. Your passion is inspiring to other people. That's the best way to inspire others. And I've heard a million times, how can I inspire my team? How can I make them want to do this? The only way you can do that is share your passion with them, and then they either get it or they don't. So whether you have a team or not, whether you're just getting started, whatever the case may be, if you want to inspire others even to join your team or grow in this business, the best way to do that is to be inspired yourself. I want to make it last. When it comes to motivation, for those of you who don't know me, this is my passion. This is what I love the very, very best about being with Scentsy. I love the product. I love the company. I love selling. I love doing events. I love parties. I love all of that. But my most favorite thing is to be able to inspire others. And if I can make that last through you guys and through you guys passing it on to others and sharing, and if you like what you heard, to pass it on to others, that's how I can make it last. The way you can make it last, like I said, is using those sticky notes and reminding yourself every single day that you have to have something that moves you forward. So let's get going. A unicorn in a field of horses. I want to know how you think of yourself. The importance of self-image is so big in everything that we do, because if we're not proud of ourselves, if we cannot look at ourselves in the mirror and smile at ourselves and be happy about who we are and what we think of ourselves, then everything else is mute. Everything else that we do doesn't mean nearly as much. So I want you to think about how you think of yourself and work on changing that if it's not good. Start with something small. Start by getting up in the morning or brushing your teeth and smiling while you brush your teeth, because that will help your self-image. When you look at yourself and smile, it's a whole lot better than looking at yourself and frowning. Your self-image comes from those around you, but it can also come from the way you view yourself. If you are happy with yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And like I said, it matters more than anything what you think of yourself, because it reflects the way you feel about yourself, and the things you do reflects the way that others feel about you. Also want to know how you think of others. When you look at a room full of people, what do you see? Know that your judgment can be a muted view. If you're unhappy with the way people see you, you may want to rearrange the way you see other people. If someone says one thing and that is your judgment on them forever, you may want to start back at the beginning. These things are so important when it comes to being a unicorn in a field of horses. Because if you think about a room full of people, almost always there's one or two that stand out in your mind. The one or two that you can look up to, the one or two that you quote-unquote idolize or inspire you, you want to grow to be, you want to learn from. Those are the unicorns in a field of horses. So we need to look up to someone. We have to find that unicorn that we can grow from and grow into. But it's an important point to say to ourselves, you know what, just because they didn't catch my eye, or I didn't have a very good first impression of that person, it doesn't mean they're just a horse. They may be a unicorn in someone else's field. So horn or no horn in your view may be different in someone else's. And that comes to, it's the same with yourself. If you don't see yourself as a unicorn, how are other people going to see that? It's easy to be a mythical creature. So what are you good at? Have you ever sat down and thought about, okay, what is my strong suit? What am I good at? Whether it's, when we think a lot of times about, when we think about our Scentsy family business, whichever one it is, we think, okay, we have to be good at sales, we have to be good at booking parties, we have to be good at talking people. Those are all givens. But there are things in our lives that we are all really good at. Some of us are very creative and can build an entire scrapbook in a day and make it more beautiful than I could ever imagine. Some of us can take pictures. Some of us aren't creative or artistic at all. Some of us are a people person. Some of us are good at talking to people. Everyone has a strong suit. If you know what yours is, you can use it in your business. Everybody knows the people that can make really good flyers. Those are the artistic people. Everybody knows the person that can word something just perfectly. Everyone knows the person that can talk to anybody and book a party. That's their strong suit, and they're making it work in their business. Not because they've always been a salesman, not because they've always been a flyer person. It's because they are passionate about one certain thing and they're making it work with their business. They have found their quote-unquote horn. That's what makes them a mythical creature. That's what makes them a unicorn in the field of horses, because they're using that passion to make their business work for them and for others. So I ask you, what does your idol have? What does, when you look at the field of horses and you see your unicorn, what does she have? What is her horn? When we see someone and idolize them or look up to them or want to learn from them, they usually have a horn that we don't. So I usually look at someone in the Scentsy field or in our field of horses, and it's someone that's very, very organized, that has or seems to have it all together, and that's the horn that I idolize. I look at that person and go, you know what, if I could have it all together like she does, then my business would work better. And that's usually what we want to work on. You can make that your goal. Even though you already have a horn of your own, you can work on another one. So If you look at yourself as just a horse, what can you do? You need to find your horn, first of all, and that means it's time to go one up. And what do I mean by that? Okay, if we're standing in a room full of horses, what can we do to go one up? Find your passion, because if you love something, you will become good at it. What do you want to do? What do you want your horn to be? And in finding that, in working towards that, think about what the unicorn does. What does the unicorn in your room do? What makes us idolize that quote-unquote unicorn? It's passion, it's perseverance, it's that person's glow, it's a magic about them and what they do, and last but not least, it's their heart. So think about that. No matter what you do, whether it's cooking lunch or dinner, whether it's cleaning your house, whether it's running the kids to school, whether it's your other job, whatever it is, if you have passion and you believe in what you're doing, not only are you happy about it, but other people take notice. If you're loving what you're doing, people are loving what you're doing. So in our business, if we can have passion and heart behind all that we do, we will be a unicorn no matter what kind of horn we have. So once we find our horn and what it is and we work towards it, and even if it's small or big, the most important thing is to put it on every single day. I found this quote and I kind of fell in love with it. Unicorns don't care if you believe in them any more than you care if they believe in you. So let's think about this. In a room full of horses, there's a unicorn. And we sit back and we idolize them and we look at them and we think they're great and we think they're amazing. But what got them to be a unicorn? It's not because you believed in them. It's not because everybody else wowed them or everybody else thought they were unbelievable. It's because they believed in themselves. And that's what that quote means to be. It's not that they don't care about you or care what you think of them. It's the idea that they got to be a unicorn by believing in themselves. So what's your horn? What's your wow factor? What's going to set you apart? The self-belief that you can have a horn just like they do. I've never seen a unicorn with her head hanging down or wandering around saying, well, I don't really believe in myself, I'm just a unicorn. It doesn't happen that way. You have to be able to believe in yourself and what you're doing and have that passion and that heart. So even if you're still looking for your horn, you have to keep your head up. And remembering to put it on, I want to inspire you guys over the next week, day, whatever it is, to make this fun. To put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror with a unicorn on it, to type on your Facebook page, I'm a unicorn, and see what people have to say about that. Tell your kids that you're a unicorn, tell your spouse, tell your friend, and get their responses and spread this around and help the people around you believe in you because you believe in yourself. Set yourself a phone alarm after you wake up tomorrow morning to remind yourself that you're a unicorn because you're choosing to be a unicorn. And if you haven't found your horn yet, you're looking for it. Believe in yourself and you will become a unicorn. A unicorn knows no boundaries. There are no geographic limitations to unicorns. As you can see in the picture, it doesn't matter how dark your forest is, you're still a unicorn no matter where you are because you believe you are and you know what you're doing. A unicorn can be in a landfill and it's still a unicorn. So every time you hear someone say or you say yourself, there's too many horses in my area, I can't be a unicorn. There's not enough horses around for me to be a unicorn. I can't grow my business because there's not enough people. I live in a small town. I live in too big of a town. Whatever the excuse is, there is no geographic limitations on being a unicorn. A unicorn is a unicorn no matter how big the field of horses. I hope this analogy is making sense to you guys. I feel a little crazy, to be honest, but I love it, and I hope you guys are loving it too. Circumstance limitations. No one asks about the unicorn's home life. No one asks about their other job, their friends, their problems, their finances. Nobody says, oh, look at that unicorn, and I bet she has a lot of problems, because nobody sees that when you're a unicorn. Because when you are a unicorn, you're a horse that has it figured out. You know how to work things your way. No one ever saw a unicorn and felt sorry for it because its friends didn't like her. No one ever saw a unicorn and said, oh, she lives in a really small town. She's probably going to lose her horn real soon. No one says those things, because once you are a unicorn, once you have your horn, once you have your passion, once you have your heart, and you become that quote-unquote mythical creature in your Cincy business, no one believes you will fail because you believe in yourself. So even though you're just another horse with a horn, you've got it figured out. You know that your home life may be a wreck because you're racing around like a crazy lady trying to get school going and everything else working, but it doesn't matter because you're a unicorn, and you know that it's going to work out. You may have friends that don't believe in what you're doing, but it doesn't matter because you know what you're good at and you know you're going to make this work. You may have a spouse that's not supportive, but it doesn't matter because you have your horn and you know that you're going to make this business work, and soon he's going to believe you're a unicorn too. It doesn't matter if your finances are in a shambles because you're working on that. It doesn't matter what part of your life is out of control or not working. If you are a unicorn, you are happy about your life and you're making it work. It's not the bad things that define a unicorn, it's the good things. Could you be a unicorn? You have to believe in the possibility. You have to know that you are better than you can ever believe you are. You have to know that that person you idolize so much that seems to be at the very, very top, you have to know that that's a possibility for you. You have to believe in yourself and believe that you're more than you ever thought. You have to know that your best is better than you can imagine. If you've never ever imagined yourself as a unicorn and know in your head that you'll always just be a horse, I can tell you right now you're wrong, because once you decide to believe in yourself, you can do absolutely anything you want to do, but you have to stop limiting yourself. You have to stop with the geographic limitations. You have to stop with, oh, I'm too busy, or I live in a small town, I live in a big town, there's too many consultants where I'm at, I can't talk to people, I can't stand up in front of people. Stop doing that and become a unicorn. Believe that you are a unicorn and you will be a unicorn. Stop telling other people you don't have a horn. Stop telling other people, oh, it'll never work out for me like it did for her because ... Stop giving yourself a but. Stop saying, oh, I don't have a horn, I'm not good at art, I'm not good at speaking with people. There is something that you're good at, and there is some way that you can make this work for you no matter what it is. All you have to do is find your horn. And here is the biggest secret of all. You've had it all along. You've had it since you were in kindergarten. You've had it when you were in high school. You may not be using it. You may be too shy to put it on, but you have it. No matter what part of your business you're in, like I said, whether you're just getting started or you've been in this 2 or 3 years, you're a director, you're a certified consultant, I don't care. It's been with you all along, and as soon as you decide to put your horn on, people will take notice in your passion, in your heart, and in your perseverance in your business. Not only that, but the thing that people notice most about unicorns is A, they're not sad, they're not down on themselves, and B, they're positive and they're happy. So no matter where a unicorn is, no matter what's going on in the unicorn's life or what they had to eat for breakfast, all you notice is their horn. Get it out, put it on, and let it be with you today, tomorrow, the next day, forever. So let's get real. Some of you might be saying, after all, a unicorn's just a horse with a horn. What's the big deal? Well, let me tell you something. It's not about what other people think of the unicorn. It's not about how great she is, but it's what she's doing as a unicorn. I can tell you the unicorn shops at Walmart too. I know a couple of unicorns, and they do. The unicorn orders takeout when it doesn't feel like cooking, or hires someone else to cook for it because it's had its horn for a while and it can afford to. The unicorn hides under the covers when it doesn't feel good or something bad happened in its life. Just because you're a unicorn doesn't mean things bad aren't going to happen. There are days when the unicorn gets up, she looks in the mirror and she doesn't see her horn. But the next day, after all of these things, she's still a unicorn. And I can tell you why. Because she's real. Because she knows she's a horse with a horn. But she also knows she chooses to have that horn, and she chooses to stand out in her business and in her life, ahead, apart, away from everyone else by choice, through perseverance, through passion, and through heart. So after the webinar, if you go in the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you don't see your horn and you think you're just a horse and not a unicorn, you have to remind yourself, it doesn't matter. I have to believe in myself, and I'm going to start looking in the mirror and seeing my unicorn horn. So let's make this fun. Like I said earlier, I challenge all of you to change your Facebook status, text somebody, oh, by the way, did you know I'm a unicorn? Let's make this fun so we don't forget. Let's share the craziness that this webinar was. I hope you guys had fun with it, because I did. Make it fun so you don't forget and so others don't forget either. Use the small things to move you forward. If you have an idea of what your horn might be, start putting it on. Try it on and see if it works. Start with a small horn. If you think it might be speaking with people, talk to 2 today. If you think it might be something artistic, build something artistic today and show it to someone. Share your horn with other people. As it grows, don't let it weigh you down. And this is the one thing I want to point out about a unicorn. We never knew a unicorn because she was arrogant. We never knew a unicorn that, oh, well, look at her, she thinks she's so great. It doesn't work that way. If you are a unicorn, you're humble, and you let other people in. You share your horn with them, and that's why they think you're so great. So as your horn grows and you figure it out, don't let it weigh you down. Instead, share it with others. And remember, our company is a unicorn. How can we not be? Our company is the company in the room that everyone looks at that says, wow, I wish I worked for them. Remember that. So if you work for a company that is a unicorn, how can you not be? And again, I challenge you to share your unicornism, if that's even a word. Come up with what it is, share it, enjoy it, have fun with it, and remember tomorrow morning when you get out of bed and you want to hide under the covers just because you're another horse, that that's not true, that you're a unicorn if you choose to be. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I just want to share with you guys, that is my information there at the bottom. Sometimes I forget to give it to you guys. So if anybody wants to email me with questions or anything like that, let me know. And then the Mike and Aspen Calhoun, that's my Facebook name with my husband. So let me wrap up the recording here.